On the auspicious occasion of Navratri, we have decided to launch our very first e-bulletin of Dhanbad Camera Club tonight. And I'll request our Chief Advisor, Sri Anil Vishal Singh sir, to launch our e-bulletin on this platform. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Mukesh. So very much giving subsidy to launch the e-bulletin DCC CAP. So I'll share my screen.
Yes, sir.
Can you see it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So this is the first page of Dhanbad Camera Club, having the presidential message of Shri Mukesh Srivastav and about the activities of Dhanbad Camera Club. And the second page is having the organizational chart, giving the names of the officials and some pictures at the top. And the last and the third page is having the photographs of members of Dhanbad Camera Club. So it's a very good start. I congratulate Mukesh to you and all the executive members of Dhanbad Camera Club for launching the e-bulletin. And I hope in the future issues, you'll be having some articles by the members of the Dhanbad Camera Club. And this e-bulletin will contribute to other photographers to gain knowledge about the art and science of photography. So once again, hearty congratulations to Dhanbad Camera Club for launching this e-bulletin.
Big clap for Dhanbad Camera Club. Certainly, sir, as you advised me, from the next month only, there will be at least one article either by the member of the club or maybe by some experts in the country.
Yes, it can be. It can be either way.
Yes.
So now I stop sharing.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir.
My pleasure always. My pleasure always.
So now I'll request Pooja Arora. Pooja Arora, who is the head of Northern Region of MESC, stationed at Mohali, to introduce our guest tonight, R. Prasanna Venkatesh. Over to Pooja.
Thank you so much, sir. First of all, before introducing my favorite R. Prasanna Venkatesh, I'd like to congratulate Dhanbad Camera Club for their just launched newsletter. And very congratulations to everybody who's attending this workshop. Prasanna, sir, whatever I'll talk about him will be always less because he's so amazing. This is coming from my heart. He is a professional photographer, a certified master trainer with the certified master assessor as well. He has 21 years of experience and he is a self-taught professional photographer from Chennai, specializing in celebrity and advertising photography. He's also a photo mentor who has done more than 200 workshops, there
is a net problem.
Bodox, photo lighting, equipment, and brand influencer for Sony India. And his YouTube channel for 5,000 subscribers. Now, if we are talking about Prasanna sir, and we have just talked about his subscription base, these subscribers must. So I'm personally his fan and I'm glad I got this opportunity to introduce him over here for this workshop. Thank you so much, Mukesh sir, for giving me this opportunity. And I am sure learning from him will be the lovely journey. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Pooja. Let me add more for Prasanna Sen because something is required to be told here. Uh, uh, his clients, if I will start telling the name, brand name of the clients, you will know the stature of our Prasanna Venkatesh. His clients are Rolls-Royce Motors, Pune, Mahindra Home Stays, uh, Katakshatra Foundation, Sunrisers, Hyderabad IPL team, Arbiter Sumit are a few to name his top class clients. And I can tell you during these 3-4 days, I was trying to contact him to talk to him, but he's always very busy. Almost I think every day he is on a shoot, almost every day. So he is not a free फोटोग्राफर लाइक मुकेश जिसके पास कोई काम नहीं है और हम पूजा से बोलेंगे तुम्हारा आपके पास बहुत ज्यादा काम है तो एक नौकरी मुझे भी दे देना ठीक है now share my yeah.
Also, I'd like to add the prestigious colleges where he has been conducting, exclusive workshops. Government College of Fine Arts, Sri Shankar Lal Sundarbai Shasun Jain College for Women, SRM Institute of Science and Technology, Stella Maris College, and ICAT Design and Media College, Chennai. He's been a part of it, and we are very happy to have him as a trainer, as a master trainer with Media and Entertainment Skills Council, and now he is tied up with our prestigious project Creative Warriors also.
Yeah, thank you very much. Let me friends, let me share my screen. I want to show you a few of my favorite pics of Prasanna Venkatesh.
That's a lovely shot, sir. I think during your recent trip, no, sir.
Yes, we not only me, even Anil. Anil
yeah, I saw that on your.
Yeah. So here goes a few pictures of Prasanna Sen. I think my screen is visible.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
I want to tell about his grip on lighting technique. He's very strong in lighting technique, and you can see not a single pixel of any skin part of this model is either overexposed or underexposed. But again, there is a balancing of light, of creating light and shadow on the face. Always he has used, you can say, created background. Mostly the photographers nowadays, they change the background using the artificial intelligent softwares. So that is not with Prasanna Sen. See, getting a picture like this, background is very bright, but he has controlled the light and then see the skin tone. Fantastic, very soft light. Fantastic. This window in the left side is created by his team only, and it looks like a window, but it's not an actual window. It is created in the studio.
It's a small set actually.
Yeah. And this is one of my most favorite because creating such a light stream from the background is a real Herculean task, and he's master in that. This picture is also my favorite because of the variation in the light and shadow on the complete body of the model.
It's called a dappled light, sir.
Yeah.
I have tried same lighting as nature. Like when you see under a tree, when the sun is bright, you see light and shade. So it's the same kind of effect.
It's all created indoor. It's not and that's the beauty of his technique. This is one of my favorites. The way he has framed the model using those, I think, Godox tube lights.
Yes.
Am I sure? Yeah.
Tube lights are ordinary tube lights. For model, I have used Godox lights, sir.
Okay, fine. Oh, what a fantastic soft light. This is a very creative work of Prasanna Sen. See, this is indoor shoot. Looks like and that light is coming from the window, but all created within the studio. Yes, this is the photograph which was selected by international page of Goddess recently. And congratulations, Prasanna.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
And he has also given the lighting setup. And this is fantastic. He has used 3 and 1/4, 5 lights in this picture. And this is the beauty of his technique. Thanks, everyone. Now it's time to learn about the lighting, creative lighting technique from our host, Sri R. Prasanna Venkatesh. And let me add here, because some people were not there at that time, that Prasanna Sen, although he is a self-taught photographer, but his photographic technique was sharpened by India's topmost automobile photographer, Iqbal Muhammad, the head of Light and Life Academy. In the same institute, I too, Iqbal Muhammad, that is the Light and Life Academy, UP, and that is the only photographic institute in India. Please mute your mic if there is some talk in the end. And that is the only photographic institute in the country, not running in a flat, not running in a 20 by 15 feet hall. It is having a few acres of campus, having lot of studios, lot of classrooms, canteen and everything. It is a wonderful place to start with. And recently, 2 years back, I sent one of my friend's son to do a course for 3 years, and he's just completing his course. So now over to Prasanna Sen. We want to give him more time to learn about his really number one creative lighting technique. Over to you, Prasanna Sen.
Thank you so much, sir. I don't know, there's a lot of experienced photographers like Anil sir and Anil sir. I grew up with Anil sir's work because I used to admire his work published in Better Photography. When I started my photography as a hobby, I started my photography as a hobby in 1994, and his pictures were some of the paintings that I used to watch in a lot of photography magazine. So he's like my guru. So as you said, I learned a lot from Anil sir's pictures, like how to compose a shot, especially his use of color and everything. And thanks to MESC also for Pooja ma'am for supporting this event, and to Dhanbad Camera Club, Mukesh sir, I know Mukesh sir from Nikon. We were both Nikon mentors, and we used to do a lot of workshops, and we used to stay in the same room also.
Same room, yes.
A lot of time discussing photography and discussing various aspects of photography. So thing is, I still see myself as a learner, and every day we learn a lot of new things. So I'll just share my screen now.
Sure.
Okay. So I'll just share my screen. So today's topic, I will just discuss the shots, and if you have any doubt, you can ask, stop and ask at any time, any point of time you can ask, please. There's no restrictions or anything. So what I'll do is, first, since this is MESC is a partner in this event, I will start a little bit about the importance of upskilling. So upskilling is very, skill development is taking a very big role in photography, and MESC is like supporting the skill development a lot, and they are trying to teach photographers, and they are conducting various programs. I think last month Mukesh sir did one session, Anil sir did one session, Radhakrishnan sir did one session, and all these things MESC is aiming to upskill photographers, give them a lot of training, and make them more aware of the technology, and all, get them interact with masters, a lot of masters like Anil sir, Radhakrishnan sir, and Mukesh sir, and all these people. So the main thing I would start, because I am a professional photographer, the one thing that I always do is I'll try to learn a new thing every day. That is the one thing that I learned from my guru Iqbal sir. Iqbal sir used to shoot every day, even every single day he'll shoot one new picture. So that is how we practice practice, and we do a lot of creative shots. So we have to be in touch and we have to practice a lot. So first I will talk about this there's a small slide on upskilling. So what is upskilling? Very, very simple. If I am shooting in daylight, direct sunlight, I've been shooting all my life in the, if I'm a photographer, I'm starting whenever we start shooting in natural light. So one point of time, the photographer will want to learn. He would want to learn about flash. So from natural light, he's going to flash. So that is what we call as upskilling. We are just developing the skill. We're just upgrading ourselves. So this makes change very easier to handle, because a lot of people, Anil sir and a lot of experienced people, we have seen how there were a lot of masters in film photography. Then there was a change to digital, and now we are seeing a shift to mirrorless. So constant learning and constant training sessions like this, and attending training sessions will make that change very easier to handle. Otherwise, we won't know about what's a new technology and what's happening in the photography industry. And second thing about this upskilling is it increases the confidence of the photographer. I would just give one small example here, and I think that would be relevant here. So I also did a shoot in Ladakh, sir. So I was in Ladakh for 1 week. We did a shoot with the models. So we were supposed to do a shoot somewhere near that. I don't know the village where there's a snow leopard sanctuary. I remember the name of the place is Ulle. So it's a snow leopard sanctuary, and we were supposed to shoot there. I had taken all my lights. It's like I have full set of lights, and we took everything there. So we had a model shoot. We had the altitude was around 13,000 feet. We are supposed to trek to the location for 3 hours and then reach the location, then do the shoot there. But unfortunately, there was a landslide. Which is very, very common in that area. It's a landslide. The rocks fell on the road and it blocked the way. So we were not able to go to that actual location, and we had to shift to another location, which was like very far, and very access was very limited. So the thing is that at that time, I could not carry even single light, because I was having all the lights, but the situation was like that. There was no mules. Mules is like which is what that carries all the equipment. We put on mules, and that carries. So we were not able to find mules because our location was totally different. And the last minute they said it will take 1 day to clear, but we had to shoot. So we had to go to an alternate location where there was no electricity, nothing. But I had a small flash, like an on-camera flash, regular flash, which we use for where you see wedding photographers and everyone using this on-camera flash. And I completed the entire shoot with that flash. So it's never about the equipment. I was carrying some 10 lights, 10 to 15 lights, everything, light stands, modifiers, power packs, everything was there. But I was not able to use them in the location because of this weather conditions. So I had to manage the entire shoot with the Vivitar flash. But that was a manual flash. It was just dying there in my bag in a corner. I just put it in an external cable and I used it as an off-camera flash. So why I'm saying this is, once you know how to use the equipment and how to use it effectively, then that increases your confidence. At no point of time I lost my confidence. I said, when the client said, "Can you manage it, that light, whatever you have?" I said, "No problem. We'll do it. There's no other option. There's no other option left. We cannot carry the light and everything." So we did that. And another thing about this upskilling is it closes the skill gaps. A lot of people, we start photography, there is a point where we don't know what we are missing. Like there's a point, like only if I see Anil sir's picture, or only if I see Mukesh sir's picture, I will know, okay, I don't know how this was shot. I want to learn about this and all these things. So this kind of skill gaps we can close only through upskilling and attending these kind of sessions. Only then we'll know what we are missing out. Otherwise, we won't know. If I see the picture, I'll see, oh, okay, how did he shoot this? Then I'll call him and ask, or I'll try to attend a session. That will increase my skill level also. And as a professional photographer, being relevant is very, very important. That is like when we say, very commonly we say, the film stars, they lost their market value or something like that. That happens in photography also. So photographers, commercial photographers, suddenly you find there are no clients coming to you. That's a thing that happens. So that is where we have to keep on updating and upskilling ourselves so that we are staying relevant in the market. So they'll say, okay, this guy is this is very relevant. He's understanding the new trends and understanding new techniques and understanding new things. So all these things they will that will come only through this kind of upskilling, and that improves your brand and reputation also, and you get a lot of very good opportunities, and definitely you'll have a lot of job satisfaction also. So this is what I just wanted to share, because we have to constantly learn, constantly attend a lot of sessions and learn a lot of things, because photography is a vast field, and it's like an ocean and very, very nobody can master it. So importance of good lighting, we'll just start with, this is a good picture and it's a decent picture which I shot for an actress. Her name is Aishwarya Datta. This is a good picture, decent picture, where you have the skin and everything properly exposed, very soft light. But if you can see, there are two pictures here, and just adding one light is adding a dimension to it. So the idea behind my pictures is, I want to create a layered kind of light. I want to create little bit of layers. We should never say that I don't have this facility or this thing, because as a professional photographer, like I said, we have to manage the situation and somehow come up with very good pictures. That's what the client expects. That's why they hire us. So this was like totally dark area with nothing there. We just tried a small light painting just to make some kind of some interesting image. That's all. Because in professional assignments, we have to create something interesting. That's nothing there. I can't tell the client there's nothing there, I can't do. So we have to create something interesting. So sometimes we do with one light. This is a single light portrait which I shot. It's a very, very simple lighting. Then we go for two lights. This IPL team, David Warner was there, Lakshman was there, Bhunesh was there, and we didn't have time. They gave us just 5 to 10 minutes to shoot. And I had to set up the lighting very quickly. It's a very small space, and these are like really busy people. And I had to quickly click the image. Like I said, I have like 10-15 lights, but I was allowed to use only 2 lights because of the space. So there is one thing people might do. One thing they'll say, oh no, I didn't need all these lights to get a good picture. But as a professional photographer, even if there was only one light, that's what I'm trying to say. Then we have pictures where I've used 3 lights, same 3 lights. Again, I've used 5 lights. In this image, there's a top light, then there are 2 rim lights, and there is one key light, one fill light. So that's a 5 light setup. It's a very high key lighting setup which we use for ads. And again, we have used the same 5 light setup here. For this image, I think Mukesh has shared the thing, and this concept behind this picture is like getting a funky party kind of a look. So I have used all opposite colors. You can see that I've used pink and cyan. These are all opposite colors in the spectrum, where we have used that pink, magenta, and cyan, totally opposite colors. Then you have a blue in the background. That's giving a little bit drama to the picture. Then in this picture, I've used 6 lights. There's a key light, then there is a fill light, there's a small rim light, then there's a background streaks coming there. Then there are 2 lights for the pillars, where you can this area is illuminated separately. This is one light, and this is another light. So we have to create the depth with the lighting. That's what we do in commercial photography. Again, this is another dancer portfolio where I've used 10 lights with all spots, snoots. So I've just used it as a rim light to highlight only the form factor. So only the form. I just want to see only the form. So can you say that what 10 lights is necessary is enough? No, sometimes we use 75 lights. This image I've used 75 lights for the building. Like, and in another image I'll show you this. We use 125 lights. This is the maximum number of lights I've used for a single image. This for this shot we spent 3 days. One day each day, morning and evening. We shot one early morning shot, then one evening shot, then the next day early morning. That's all. But for the lighting alone, it took around 12 hours just to do the wiring. So that's a lot of hard work that went into this, because we had to hide the light. We had to make sure the building is evenly lit, and it's a half a kilometer building. So the entire stretch, it has to be evenly illuminated on all these things. So we did a lot of preparation and groundwork to do this kind of things. So what I'm saying is I put the same kind of effort in a single light as well as the same kind of effort in a 125 light setup. So this is the basic idea behind how I work. I normally do a lot of pre-preparation, and that I learned a lot from my guru Iqbal sir, to how to prepare for the shots. So okay, so why do we use artificial light or flash? We can do it in daylight. There's a lot of people who say, why do you use flash? You can always shoot in direct light, sunlight and natural light. That is good, actually. That's very good. But only thing is, in commercial photography, we cannot depend on natural light because it's very tricky. Like, it's not very consistent. Suddenly it will start raining. Suddenly the client might be delayed, and you'll get into a lot of difficulties because the light is not there. It's very, very difficult in a commercial photography to depend only on natural light. So I'll show you this image. This image is a very, very famous music composer. His name is Anirudh. He's doing all the major films in Tamil Nadu now. And this was shot for a client called Flying Machine. It's a very famous jeans company. And this ad was, this was the approved layout. So when we have an ad advertising layout, that you cannot change anything at all. I'm sure most of you might know ad, they have a storyboard kind of a thing, then they have a layout, and that it gets approved by the client. So the concept was this person Anirudh is listening to, he's a musician, so he's listening to music, enjoying in an afternoon, early morning sunlight kind of thing, is enjoying the music. Okay, this was the setup. So we were waiting there from morning itself when the light was good and all these things. We went and saw the location. We did all this homework and all these things. We saw the entire thing. We planned everything. But suddenly he was supposed to reach Chennai in the morning, but something got delayed, and he came only at 9 o'clock in the night. So there was no daylight, no, I think it was totally dark. But the ad was supposed to be released in another 2 days. The ad was supposed to get released. So what we have done is we have recreated the entire daylight field. We used butter paper for the windows. We have put flash behind it, and I have used the same kind of whatever reference they gave, that the same kind of layout. I've given the same kind of lighting with flash, because we cannot tell the client that no, it's become dark, we cannot shoot, because he's a very, very busy person, and there's no reshoot, or there's another problem is getting his appointment. It's very, very difficult. So we shot this image at like 10 o'clock in the night. But the image, you can see, it will look like as if it is like some he's sitting near a window enjoying the lighting. So these kind of things happen in commercial photography. So we have to use flash. And I'll show you some pictures. If you have any doubts, you can ask. This is also the same studio setup. The background is a very simple vinyl printout. It's around 500 rupees for the printout. And we have given I've used two colors in this. One is warm tone and one is a cold tone. One is the warm tone, is the amber. There's a small gobo I have used. Gobo is something you place it in front of the light. It's like a small pattern, like a small slit through which the warm light is coming. Then you have this blue color tone in the background. So that gives a very late evening kind of a feel. And all these things we try and bring in, like we can do in natural light also, but only thing is, again, time, then the location availability, everything is there. So we had to do it in the studio. In this image also, you can see that is, I have used a particular simple color tone. It's all very warm tones. And only color that is different is that the lipstick color, which is like red. Other than that, everything is like very warm, very subtle colors. On the light, there was this is an actually white background. So what I did was I saw this white background was not very interesting. So what I've done is, we have these wooden partitions in our house. Near the dining table, we'll have these wooden partitions with a lot of patterns, holes in it. So I put a flash behind that, and that is the pattern in the background. So we have to think very quickly in a scenario like this, and we have to make sure the picture is very interesting. And there is another old photography technique, portrait technique, used by a lot of masters that I have used in these pictures. I have used a black net. So this was a kind of a vintage kind of a look. So I used a black net cloth in front of lens to give that like slight soft skin effect. So you can see there's a soft glow to the skin. That is because I've used a net. A lot of photographers used to use in portraiture, they used to use the net cloth. Then in front of the lens, and I have shot through that. So that's why you get a kind of a very soft, dreamy feel to the image. Again, here there was it's a very small set. It's hardly some 8 to 10, 8 by 10 kind of a setup. So in that, we wanted to create some interest. So we have just put that light streaks on the background with little bit of smoke and all these things. So major thing that I want to do is, I want to create some kind of interest in the picture to capture the viewer's attention, to make it more creative, and to make it more dramatic. So this was shot in one of my workshops actually. Again, you see, I give the same importance to the background as well as the subject. This background, I've used a flash, and for the subject, I've used continuous light. I have kept all this in the same plane. So you see everything is in focus. The lamp is in focus. The face, eyes, everything is in focus, because we have everything in the same plane. Again, usage of colors, like the sir said, I also like the shot. These tube lights are regular tube lights that we got from the shop, roadside, the electrical shop, like of 150 rupees each. 10 for the model. I've used a Godox light. And you can see again, I've used color, because red and green opposite colors.
Yes.
We were very lucky to get this kind of sky, because the costume was also white and blue, and the sky is also white and blue. I'll show a small behind the scenes video also for you to see. So this is another shot that we did. So this is the behind the scenes of the shot. So we put a small set. You can see in this, we put a small set, and we created this entire thing in that. So it's always about the vision of the photographer, how we are going to translate how we are going to give something very unique and all these things. It's never, I'm never dependent on too much of equipment, or it's not like that. Only thing is we have to practice a lot, and we have to see a lot of photographers work. And this was also another image where we were supposed to shoot in outdoor, but we could not go for the outdoor location. So we had to do it in the studio itself. So this is the setup behind that. This is a love story. So we had this kind of a setup.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Thank you, sir. So I'll just I'll show a small video on 1 second, so that it's easy for them to understand. Okay, so a lot of people ask us like, what happens in a photo shoot, or what happens in a shoot. So I'll just play this small video. One thing is a clear professional photo shoot is a team effort. It's 100% team effort. It's not a single person's effort at all. So we have a set of makeup artists, we have a costume designer, we have stylists. Each and every one plays a very important role in the picture. And the photographer is just like a captain of a ship. We have to just make sure that everything is working perfectly and smoothly. So I'll just show you the shot, and this is the behind the scenes video. Able to see, sir?
Yeah, yeah, it's visible.
So short for a diamond and jewelry client, gold jewelry client.
Fantastic.
Thank you so much, sir. Any questions? We can have a discussion also, sir.
I think, Prasanna, as you told, the team is very important,
Yes, sir.
and arranging so much to create a background.
Correct, sir.
It's a tough, tough job.
Yes, sir.
But before that, you have to also imagine and make your own planning,
Correct,
make
sir.
your own vision about the final frame.
Final output. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So what we do is do something called a mood board. We create a mood board with some makeup, how the makeup is going to be, and all these things. What are the accessories? What is the background? We can create a template where we have all these 10 to 15 pictures. Then we go by that step. So the main thing about working in a team is miscommunication. Sometimes what happens is somebody will come to the shooting spot and they'll say, "Oh, I didn't know this was what I expected. I thought this will be like that." So
Yeah.
we try to avoid that by sending the mood board and telling them this is what is expected. This should be the makeup. This is the costume. This is the background. And this is going to be the lighting setup and all these things, so that everybody understands and everybody works together as a team, sir. So setting up the team is the first part. Getting the correct team. If one person is not working properly, then the whole thing will go for a toss. If makeup is not good, my pictures will get affected. Costume is not good, pictures is not get affected. Then art direction is not good. Again, the picture won't come out good. So we make sure that we work as a team. This is a complete team effort, sir.
That's right. That's right.
Wonderful, Prasanna, sir. One thing, tell me, is it your own studio or you are working with any other studios?
Sir, I hire a studio, sir. Most of my projects are bigger projects, sir, and it's not affordable to have a huge studio like that. So
Yeah.
what we do is we hire a studio based on the requirements, sir. We hire a studio, and sometimes we hire a very big shooting floor. Like we want to make a set or something. It's not feasible to have a studio, so we hire a studio, sir.
It must be around 60 by 30 feet.
Yeah, sir, it's definitely 60 by 30, something like that, sir. More than 60 feet.
Okay.
So that kind of, so only then we'll get that kind of a depth.
Yes.
So these are all the cinema shooting floors that we hire. One thing is, sir, all these things we have to first get a team, like the production and everything has to be correct, sir. Then only then we can get the kind of output. Otherwise, our food is not good. Model will get upset. Subject we won't have the comfort in front of the camera. So it's more like a people management job also.
If I can say, Prasanna, and it looks almost like a cinematic lighting.
Yes, sir, it's a cinematic lighting only.
Am I correct? Yes.
Yes, sir. I learned my lighting from cinematographers. Sir. I didn't learn from photographers. I learned from cinematographers.
Yes,
I
sir.
worked with almost all top cinematographers in South India, sir. So what I do is every time I observe and learn new things.
Yeah. I think in few of the Tamil films, you have also made posters.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I worked in some 8 films so for Tamil films. So I try to get the cinematic feel in the pictures also. So I use continuous light with flash. Lot of the time I use continuous light with flash. So that will give the depth.
So one thing, Prasanna, just because you were mentor of Nikon, Sony, and everything. See, in camera flash, it's a very small lighting source.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But if it is used creatively,
Yes,
it
sir.
can add magic to the frame. Okay.
Correct, sir. Correct, sir.
But why the upper level of DSLR camera, they are not having in camera flash? What is the reason?
Sir, because maybe the output of the flash is very less, sir. Like normally what we have as a speed light, which we put on top of the camera, the output is around 50 watts.
Yeah.
So 50 watts consumes a lot of power. We need to have a separate battery for that. So I think that's why they put the.
That's why for D500 and D5 they have removed the.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Because it's not possible to have a powerful flash. Then it will take a lot of power, sir.
A lot of power and battery.
Yes, a lot of power.
And those cameras are mainly for wildlife photography and all.
Yes, wildlife sports, professional
And
photography.
all action and all. So
Even a lot of people ask us why we don't use small flash like a speed light. Why we don't use? Because speed lights maximum output is around 70 watts. Beyond that you don't get. But when we want to get a depth of field like f8 or f11 with full sharp images, then we have to go for a studio light. We want to put a bigger modifier and everything. So we have to go for a studio light, sir.
one thing I can tell you, Prasanna sir, I am very happy with the Kodak's AD400 because
Thank you.
in my place, power cut is very normal. Sometimes I've called a model and there is no power. So what happens in that case? Simply I take out my AD400 with a single light using reflector. I go for a photo shoot.
Yes, sir. That's all. That's a problem here also, sir. Sometimes we plan a shoot, there's no power. Some transformer will blow, then there's no power. So it's done beyond our control. So we always keep this battery packs, and you don't have wires also running here there. So you can move the flash anywhere you want, and you can light the thing like whatever you want. So it's very portable also, sir. So that's why I also prefer using these lights.
These days. Any question from the participants, please?
There is no question, but I would like to say something.
Yes.
First of all, I should thank Mr. Prasanna Venkatesh for his magnificent presentation. We saw some excellent pictures. Yes, it is true. Photography is all about how you are using the light. Yes, photography medium is two-dimensional medium. It is having width, it is having length. But we'll have to create the depth by using the light.
Yes.
He has created magic by using the light, and it is very well and very truly said that in a studio, photographers has got the full control of the lights. Wherever he or she wants to put the light for his creative lighting, he can do it. In daylight, we have certain limitations. So indoor studio setup is more appropriate for such high professional work, and I should congratulate Prasanna ji for showing us his excellent pictures.
Thank you
Using
so much,
excellent creative lighting. Thank you
coming from
so
it's a
very
big honor
much.
for me, sir, because I grew up looking at your pictures, especially your black and whites and everything, sir.
Yeah, it was wonderful. It was
Prasanna, and the moment I saw that outdoor building shoot with 125 lights,
Yes, sir.
then I remembered one temple Iqbal Muhammad shot during
Yes, sir.
quite long back,
Yes,
using more than 100, I think 20 or 50 lights, and he has shown the complete behind the scene
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
during the workshop.
He created magic with single light, and he created magic with 125 lights.
125.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
So we have to know how to use the.
Light.
that's right.
Some people, what they do is they buy a lot of equipment, sir, then they don't use it properly. Then they
Yes,
say,
yes,
no,
yes.
I don't have this knowledge thing, but we can create some really good work with. I was not able to shoot a behind the scenes video because mind was totally occupied with the shot because there's a huge set of lighting and a lot of work to be done. So I forgot to shoot we had put a 40 feet platform with lot of speakers and everything. Then I was standing with a mic, asking my assistants to do this, do that. It was like one huge setup, actually. So then we had to do the wiring, hide the wiring, and all these things. So that was a big task for us, sir.
Mitrala, anything you want to say about this?
Sir, it was really magic to be seen, and I'm really thankful to Prasanna sir for displaying such
Thank
a
you so much,
brilliant
sir.
show.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
so
sir.
much,
Thank you.
Hope it was useful to you also.
Certainly, sir.
Sanjeev is our senior joint secretary in our club,
Oh, great, sir.
and he is a very busy person. He's the additional commissioner of income taxes.
Oh, okay.
He's holding charge of a multiple office.
Okay, okay.
So every time he is very busy. He hardly free for most of the photo walks, but he has got keen interest in photography, and he has got a mirrorless camera nowadays.
I think I've seen that waterfall somewhere. So I think that was near
Yeah,
Dhanbad.
yeah. That is the Bhatinda
Picture, the same waterfall.
waterfall. So now we had enough about the lighting, because in my left and right there are two genius photographers, and both are master of lighting. Anil is the master of conceptual light. He creates light and shadow and the third dimension. In my left, Venkatesh, Prasanna Venkatesh, he's the master of indoor lights. He can create with the indoor lights like a daylight. You have seen a lot of pictures like a morning rays coming from the window, that a musician chap, and that it was just like a daylight. It's not daylight, but it has been created, and that's a big credit to him. So now I'll request Tanoj Singh to give vote of thanks. I think it's quite late night in Melbourne, but he always attends our photo webinars. Your audio is not coming, Tanoj. Your audio is missing. No, it's not coming. No. Is there some problem, Tanoj? Your audio is not coming.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Good.
Okay.
Good.
Sorry, it just went to a different setting. Sorry. It's my pleasure to say a few lines about Prasanna. It was an amazing presentation. I have never seen or done any of those lighting, so it's the background scenery which we saw how to set up these stages and taking pictures. It sounds like it's completely a work of art, even though it's a commercial pictures, but it's just fantastic. So it's really quite a learning experience, and for somebody like me who is an amateur, sort of a hobby photographer. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Kanos. Thanks a lot, Prasanna San. Today
Thank
we
you, sir.
got a lot.
Thank you. I hope to do more such activities with you and Anil sir and you. We should do more such activities. And
Sure,
maybe
sure.
if you come
Love
to
to.
Anil sir comes to Chennai or you come to Chennai, let me know, so we can do a
Certainly, certainly. I'll let you know.
Certainly we'll come to Chennai. When we can go to Ladakh,
Yes,
and
sir.
that is 5,500 meters
Meters.
altitude, then we can very easily come to Chennai.
Maybe you can go to Kerala, do some landscapes, and Munnar, do some landscapes.
We'll plan sometimes.
Yes, sir.
Okay then. Good night to everyone.
Thank you so much, sir.
Good night.
Good night. Good night. Good night. Take care. Take care. Bye. Bye. Bye.